How to fillet solids. After a solid model is drawn, it can be modified by adding fillets to round off edges. In example 1, this box has straight and curved segments. Enter the fillet command, specify a radius of 0.3 and select the top front edge. Pick all the remaining edges, including the curved edge, and you'll notice that the edges that were selected have all been filleted. In the next object, two objects are unioned together. You pick the bottom edge of the cylinder, type 0.25 for the fillet radius and press enter, and a fillet occurs between the cylinder and base. Applying a chamfer between two surfaces, example 1. Apply a chamfer to two adjacent surfaces of a solid. You enter the chamfer command and pick the edge common to top and front faces. Then you'll type 0.8 for the base surface distance and 0.4 for the other surface distance. And then you select the edge separating the top and front surfaces and press enter. And you'll notice that the edge becomes beveled. In example 2, use a copy of the last object. Pick the top edge of the curved corner. If it highlights, press enter. Type 0.3 for the base surface distance and 0.3 for the other surface distance. Since you want to chamfer all the edges on the surface, type L to choose the loop option. Pick one of the edges of the top surface and notice that the entire surface highlights. Press enter to carry out the change.
Tutorial 22. In this tutorial, I'm going back to the split screen again so that you can understand better what I'm saying and doing. I'm going to trace over the two rectangles on the top view and move them to the upper right. I copied the holes from the top view to the new red rectangles. Used a polyline to trace over the upper part of the right side view and move that copy to the upper right. Use the polyline edit command to make sure the view closed polyline. Moved into southeast isometric view. Extrude the two rectangles, including the holes, to a height of 0.25 and subtract the hole. Then extrude the larger rectangle on the right, including the holes, to a height of 0.34 and subtract the holes. Extrude the remaining part to a height of 0.34 units. Activate the O-snap endpoint and move the small box from the upper right corner to the lower right corner of the large box. Union the two rectangular boxes. Then I'm using the 3D rotate tool. I'll select the last part and rotate it clockwise 90 degrees. Again, using the 3D rotate tool, rotate the same part another 90 degrees clockwise. And now I'll move that last part from its lower left-hand corner to the upper left-hand corner of the other part, and with the union command, make all the parts into a single object. When that is done, I'll shade the object and the solid is complete. Then I'll set up the two viewports as desired in Paperspace, freeze the viewports layer, and this drawing will be completed.
This is an abstract of tutorial 26. In this drawing, I used a polyline to trace over the top view, subdividing it into two parts. Then I we'll move those profiles to the upper right, and of course make certain that both are closed polylines. I move into the southeast isometric view and extruded the large profile to a height of 3 units and the smaller to a height of 7.75 units. And with the O-snap set to midpoint, move the parts together and union them. Then I extruded the 4 holes to an arbitrary height of 5 units, entered the align command, selected the 4 cylinders. The align command will rotate and move the cylinders into the main bracket. Then I can subtract the cylinders from the main bracket and the 4 new holes are completed. Shade the solid and the bracket is complete. Click on the Page Setup Manager to modify the layout to accept a B-size paper, then click on Layout 1 button and set up the necessary view. This is tutorial 33. In the right viewport, I'm going to draw 2 concentric circles. And then I'm going to move into the southeast isometric view. I'm going to extrude the larger circle and the smaller circle. And I'll draw a vertical line connecting both ends of the larger diameter circle. Then I'll draw a horizontal line, a distance from 1.5 starting at the midpoint of the vertical line. Where the 2 lines intersect, I'll draw 2 concentric circles. And then I'll rotate those 2 circles clockwise using the 3D rotate tool. I'll extrude the circles. Then I'll subtract the larger vertical cylinder from the larger vertical, the smaller cylinder, and press enter. Then I can subtract the 0.6 horizontal cylinder before shading the object. I placed a fillet weld at the seam where the 2 pipes meet.